Hello!
Welcome back to Art in Action
with Tara
and Marion.
So nice to talk to you guys.
We've really missed you.
Missed you.
Today we're here to talk about a little field trip we took to the Mission District in San Francisco.
Yeah, it was really fun. So as part of our mission to to see like an exhibition or experience an artistic production once a week, and report on it and make some sort of educational produce out of that.
Ask the big questions.
Yes.
Art, activism, how do they come together?
And based in San Francisco as well, we think it's important to really engage with the culture that you are surrounded with. Mm-hmm. And it's a very enriching way to travel. So yeah, it was fun.
So the Mission District is a neighborhood that's located in central San Francisco, and it's most well known for its large Latinx and Chicanx population and vibrant arts community. And throughout the centuries, the Mission has undergone many cycles of change to its population. The first inhabitants were the Yelamu, definitely botching that tribe, who lived there until they were forced out by the arrival of the Spanish in the 18th century. And then between the 1850s and early 1900s, the area received an influx of German, Irish, Polish, and Italian immigrants after the gold rush swept across the West Coast. Then in the 1970s, immigrants from Central America and South America moved to the Mission seeking refuge from the violence and political instability in their home countries. The enduring Latinx and Chicanx presence in the area has made the Mission the artistic hub it is today, and also ignited the practice of mural making in the neighborhood. At first, these murals were mainly created by male artists articulating anguish at the Vietnam War, but with the arrival of the Muralistas, which we'll talk about later in this video, murals became more centered around the everyday life, struggles, joys, and traditions of the Latinx and Chicanx community in the Mission. The murals also reflected the political concerns of the Mission community, such as housing, equity, representation, and racial equality, and they acted as a powerful reminder that this area belongs to the Latinx and Chicanx members, which seems especially necessary now as gentrification threatens to transform the neighborhood once again.
Tara, what were your thoughts on the Mission?
I loved the Mission. It was so vibrant. I think it helped as well. We went on a really sunny day, so the colors were popping off. You like hearing Spanish everywhere was just like amazing. And San Francisco is so fun because each district is so distinctive and is so different. So you can walk like 10 minutes and feel like you're in a totally different city. And the architecture was a bit different, and like, I really loved it. What did you think, Maria?
Same. I think my big thing in my head was like, what does it mean? What is America? What does America look like? And I think like for me what that looked like expanded when we visited, and I'd literally, little Vermonter me, I've never been to like a community that's like primarily speaking Spanish that's like also in the United States. So I think for me that just kind of like was like an expansive experience, which is really cool. And also cool to see some murals that were kind of like explicitly political. Because I was telling Tara, like, compared to some like street art in London that was very like kind of vague, I felt like the murals in the Mission really like represented the issues that were being talked about in that community.
Like they weren't trying to like code the political messages, and a lot of them had like words, graphics that were like very explicitly political and what that political aim was, and responded directly to the needs of that community, which I really appreciated. I thought that was good. And like using that as a way to engage people and not trying to like code things in a way that isn't that might not be as accessible to
Yeah.
the everyday person walking past and seeing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the other thing that was interesting that was like the fact that you have like the main Mission Street, which is like super busy, and then just to see like how every street kind of had like a different energy to it, and we were like 3 blocks over and it seemed a bit more like gentrified, and then like in another section it felt more kind of like suburban almost. So it was interesting to see just like how much diversity you can pack into like a little area. Yeah.
Covering 5 stories of the Women's Building, a community center in the heart of the Mission, the Masterpiece mural is an homage to the contributions of women throughout history and mythology. It was created between 1994 and 2000 by a group of artists known as the Muralistas. The Muralistas were a group of Chicana and Latina artists who began painting murals around the Mission District in the 70s to represent the women living in their community and challenge the notion of mural making as an art practice for men alone. The mural weaves together images of women from all walks of life, engaged in art making and collaboration, as well as depictions of goddesses and spiritual leaders from varying faiths. These intricate and brightly painted figures mingle across the face of the building, acting as a beacon of unity and resiliency for women of all cultures.
And what did you think of the murals specifically that we saw? Perhaps the muralistas?
Muralistas?
Yeah.
Well, I almost like woke you up last night because I was like thinking about it and I was like, why did this like make me feel some type of way? And I was like, oh, it's because any like public image I see, like basically I was like, what do we see? We see statues of men. And why was it so insane to see this like giant woman's head like rising above the buildings? And it's because like that you don't like see that. I actually like called to mind the Statue of Liberty for me. I was like saying, I don't know, USA. But yeah.
No, it's interesting. Or else, like, just like an image of a woman's body selling something on a ginormous billboard.
Oh my god, I saw like an eroticized advertisement for tacos that was like 2 naked ladies, and I was like,
yeah, it feels like a counter to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and like, I was trying to interrogate like how much solidarity we could feel looking at
I was
them,
literally thinking that,
and how much you don't want to reduce it to the essential feminine, like us as white women, like
and,
how much are we appreciating what these women are doing like from a distance, and how much are we connecting with it,
literally, because I was gonna say, like, as much as a woman, like, it was cool to see that and like see a bunch of ladies, it's not really about us, as it's not about like our
experience,
specific like white experience. It's definitely about like
for the people who live there,
representing like
community.
Faiths and leadership that I personally don't know anything about because like I'm not from there. So it was kind of like there was inclusion and also like something to learn about,
which like makes it really exciting and special,
literally.
And like I also couldn't look at a mural without thinking of like the Northern Irish context as well, and all you NI subscribers out there, will probably be cringing, but also like know what I mean, where it's like murals at home are like based around the Troubles and are like are there to intimidate and are there to like set territory and to incite fear and violence, and it was just really powerful for me to see murals used in a totally opposite way. And also all of those murals at home are always of men as well, actually, I'm just thinking, and to just see like the positive influence this type of art can have on a community, and like people are proud of those murals, it's empowering everyone in the community, not just a certain subgroup, and they're just really beautiful to look at as well. And I was thinking, I wonder if this way of using muralism can be transposed
Yeah.
a little bit back
Yeah.
home, and thinking about ways to do that. And I know there are some artists that do street art in that capacity, but
yeah, I feel like I was really struck by just how it's a way to like take up space and like claim a community, especially when we've heard chat of like, oh, like housing equity is a big issue, and like, is this area going to become gentrified? And to really like put the stories of that community like on the walls was really really cool. Yeah, I had the same question of like, to what extent could this tradition translate to other communities or cultures? You probably couldn't. I don't know, it was just like interesting.
Is it like a transferable medium, or is it I don't know.
Another mural we looked at on our day out was La Llorona's Sacred Waters on the corner of 24th and York, made by Juana Alicia in 2003. The mural centers La Llorona, a figure of Latin American and Mexican folklore, who was thought to lurk in the waters and wander the streets wailing in search of children to murder. However, the mural depicts La Llorona in a new light. Positioned among real women in combat with police, she is reframed as a symbol of protection and solidarity, standing with the women in their resistance and their grief. Furthermore, the emphasis placed on La Llorona's dominion over the water, highlighted by the rolling waves and blue color palette, suggests that she is not only a protector of women and children, but the environment as well.
Did you have any thoughts on the blue La Llorona?
This though, it was beautiful. I didn't have any like intelligent thoughts to say about it, but it was just stunning. It was really, really stunning. Did you have any thoughts?
I thought it was cool, firstly, like reading about how the story of La Llorona, she's like this woman that like hides in the waters of cities like looking for children to like murder, and it's kind of this like folktale that's been passed down in like Mexico and like Latin American communities, but then I read that was largely like a narrative that is kind of like created by the West and like perpetuated by the West. And in the mural, she's actually like holding on to this child, and like she's a figure of like comfort and solidarity. And so it was interesting to just see that narrative like reworked. You know?
And used as the opposite to that, and really pushing against the white Western
and
narratives.
I guess also just the intersection of like mythology and these tales that have been around for like hundreds of years, and then like very current issues. Like the mural showed like police violence and you know, so that's a kind of interesting fusion.
That's true, and those folklore are still relevant for creating a sense of Latinx and Chicanx identity. Today.
And they can be like rewritten and reinterpreted. And also just the fact that it was on the side of like a taqueria, like just these really powerful messages alongside like everyday life.
I think that's what actually really struck me, is like if you lived there, you grew up there, these images are like part of your everyday experience and part of your like visual, like your subconscious then as well. I thought that was like really stunning to have these, like, even if you're not actively looking at it, it's like in your periphery, it's in your everyday, like it's feeding into your daily life. I think it's really stunning.
And it makes you wonder, like, kind of what you were talking about with NI, like, to what extent just like the visuals around your community like subconsciously shape the way you think about your community or like think about the world, etc.
Yeah, it does. 100%.
100p. Anything else you'd like to tell our viewers?
So many things.
So many things, guys. It's almost our bedtime.
Well, that night morning routine. No, it was very, very enriching, and I'm excited to read more and learn more and soak it all in.
Literally.
Yeah.
So, you guys have a good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Whoa, whoa. Damn. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
What street is this?